We'll start with our next session. It's very important session. In this session, we are going to learn object-oriented programming approach in Python, means how we can implement object-oriented programming in Python. So our agenda of this session is like this. First, we'll see what is meant by object-oriented programming. Then we'll see how to write a class and objects in Python, constructor methods, instance and class variables. Then we'll see how we can implement inheritance, different types of inheritances available in Python, how we can override methods. Then another important principle of object-oriented programming, that is data hiding. Okay, so this is agenda of this session. The object-oriented programming we are dividing in two sessions. This is the first session in which we will see how we can implement class, object, inheritance, data hiding, etc. And we will keep one session at the end in which we will see how we can implement aggregation, comprehension and all that. Okay, so first we'll go with this session. Now see, object-oriented programming is an approach for modeling real-world entities as software objects which have some data associated with them and can perform certain functions. Basic of any object-oriented programming is idea that everything is an object. Means everything we need to define in terms of object, and object is associated with data and operations. Okay, so these are some basic concepts of object-oriented programming like class, object, encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction. We'll see how we can define class, how we can create an object, and then some OOP principles like inheritance, encapsulation, polymorphism, etc. So in case of Python, we can see it like this, that Python is a multi-paradigm programming language. Means it supports different programming approach. We have seen that we can define functions in Python and we can write our program like a procedural program. Okay, so this is another programming approach, object-oriented programming. Okay, so we'll see how we can define Python programs as an object-oriented program. Now from start we said that Python follows object-oriented programming because the data types what we have seen like int, float, at that time also we said that everything is an object in Python. Okay, means int is also an object, string is an object, list is an object. So everything is an object in Python. We can say Python is an object-oriented programming language since its existence. Okay, and as we said number of times now, almost everything in Python is an object with its properties and methods. Every object comes with properties and methods. So that's what we want to learn now, how we can create our own class, how we can define object, and how we can access methods and properties of object here.